A już teraz zapraszamy na scenę Jamesa Taylora, prezesa Instytutu Heartlanda.
And now, please welcome to the stage James Taylor, president of the Heartland Institute.
Dzień dobry, CPAC Poland! It is such an honor to be here in Poland, the country that put the first dent in the Iron Curtain, the country that first stood up to the Soviet Russians. It is an honor to wear your flag. It is an honor to wave your flag. It's an honor to hold your flag. It is here in Poland where resistance was born. It is here in Poland where the people take pride in standing up to oppression and fighting for freedom. And it's especially the right time to be celebrating this, because if the European Union, if the totalitarian socialists, if the ruling class in Brussels have their way, we may not be able to wave this Polish flag anymore. But in Poland, they know that if we have one EU, one mishmash of cultures, one mishmash of peoples, it's much easier to take away their freedom. It's much easier to suppress our rights than if there are 44 European Union countries, 44 countries within Europe, and especially a Poland that never backs down to outside oppression. Make no mistake about it. What the totalitarian socialists want to do is they want to take away your freedoms. They want to take away our freedoms. And they engage in projection. They say that today's conservatives, people here in this room, they try to say that we are the modern-day fascists. We are the next generation of Nazis. We are the next totalitarians. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll take you up on your challenge. Let's compare. Let's compare who it is that stands for freedom and who it is that's trying to take away the rights of people in Poland and people throughout Europe and people in America. Freedom of speech. As we sit here today in Brussels, they're writing legislation giving government the authority and the duty to censor free speech. Beyond that, not just censoring it, but putting in prison anybody who speaks out against what the leftist state wants us to do. By contrast, it is grassroots conservatives that always champion free speech, that are not afraid to let the socialists say what they want, argue what they want, because we know we'll win. And we know that free speech is a principle that we can never give up on. So freedom of speech, check mark grassroots conservatives. Freedom of assembly, just last year, the head of the most popular party in the UK, Nigel Farage, a Reform Party, the democratically elected leader of Hungary, Viktor Orban, held a public assembly in Brussels. And the Brussels police, the leftist totalitarians, shut it down. They said it was a threat to public safety. And they call us the modern-day fascists. It is the grassroots conservatives that don't mind other people that disagree with us having their own assemblies, having their own rallies, saying what they want. Because we stand for freedom. We believe in freedom. We believe that ultimately truth and goodness will win out if freedom has a chance. Freedom of assembly, check mark grassroots conservatives. Freedom of political parties to even exist. In Romania, the most popular candidate standing for election, the leader after the first round, the socialist left made trumped-up charges, silly charges, stupid charges, proven to be false, even if they were true, which they weren't, having no significance on the election. But they make that up and say, no, you can't run anymore because we don't like you. Next one up, leading in the polls, you can't run either. They finally wear the people down to the point where they think, okay, we finally now have an opportunity to win the election. Now you can have an election, that's it. In France today, Marine Le Pen, convicted of horse manure charges have absolutely no basis behind them, and even if they did, they're essentially nothing. You can't run because we don't want other political parties. In Poland, you have members of your parliament that have been arrested in the presidential palace. Absolutely atrocious. They fear political parties other than the leftist ruling class. In the United States of America, Donald Trump would be in prison this very day if we weren't fortunate enough to have an election last November to rescue Donald Trump, to rescue our country before the leftist totalitarians could take away our freedoms. Freedom of political parties, checkmark grassroots conservatives. Economic freedom. Never forget when they try to say we're modern-day fascists, we're modern-day Nazis. Never forget what Nazi stands for. It's the National Socialist German Workers' Party. Never let people forget that Adolf Hitler was a socialist. Nazis pointedly referred to each other as comrade to remind each other of their socialist ideology and their socialist roots. And it was the Nazis that joined forces with Stalin to carve up the capitalist free market economies of the West. Fast forward to today. Who is it that's advocating socialism? And who is it that advocates individual people deciding for themselves where they want to work, if they want to open a business, to retain the fruits of their own labor? When it comes to economic freedom, checkmark grassroots conservatives. I could go on and on and on, and issue after issue after issue. The reason why the totalitarian left tries to defame grassroots conservatives and call us all sorts of names is because they're afraid the people will wake up and see exactly what they're doing. Stand tall, Poland. Stand tall, Europe. Stand tall, America. Because we are the ones, conservatives in Poland, Europe, and America, we are the ones who stand for freedom. We are the ones who champion freedom. We're the ones who'll never give up fighting for freedom. And especially here in Poland, don't ever let them take away your national identity, your culture, your history. You are the ones who inspired me as a teenager when Solidarity and the Polish people stood up to the Russians. You are the ones who are inspiring people today, inspiring people this upcoming week in the elections when you exercise your democratic rights, the rights they want to take away. In Poland, in Europe, in America, it's the grassroots conservatives who stand for freedom. Stand tall. Thank you very much, CPAC Poland.